Hello everybody, this video is a continuation of our last lesson for learning outcome number 2, indicator number 1, and we're going to do remaining part here in this video. We're going to discuss analytical questions here in this. So let's consider this text here. In a study of plant growth, researchers observed that plants given a mix of sunlight and artificial light grew faster than those exposed only to sunlight. However, the plants under artificial light alone grew the least, with pale leaves and stunted stems. Now let's go to the question and see how the question is an analytical question. All right, just consider this question. And this question, what does the study suggest about the effects of different light sources on plant growth? Here we can see A. Artificial light is always better than sunlight for plant growth. B. A combination of sunlight and artificial light promotes the best plant growth. And C. Plant grow equally well under sunlight and artificial light. And option D is artificial light alone hinders plant growth compared to sunlight. So the nature of the question is analytical. We are going to analyze all the possible options here, and then we are going to reach, according to the text, the right answer is a combination of light and artificial light promotes best plant growth. And if we see here, so, and then we'll get back to the question itself, to the text also, to see how does it, so a combination where sunlight and artificial light both work together. If both kind of lights are provided, then they grow the best. It promotes the plant growth. So here in this example, the text that we have studied, it clearly mentions this thing that a mix of sunlight, a mix where both are involved, of two things, sunlight and artificial light grew faster. So those exposed only to only sunlight. So that means when both of kind of lights are provided, the growth is faster. All right. So in this part, we will cover the kind of critical questions, like what kind of questions are critical questions, and we will use this following text. The text says the city council wants to make traffic better by adding more buses and subways. This plan will help people get around faster and be better for the environment. But to pay for it, the city needs more money, so they want to raise taxes. Some people like the plan because it will help with traffic and pollution. Other people don't like it because they think paying more taxes will be hard for them. Well, before I ask you the question, what is important for you, it is important for you to understand what a critical question is. A critical question is the one that requires deeper thinking. It's not a normal question or ordinary question. It requires you to think deep and make an analysis beyond surface level facts. The facts that are available, you have to go beyond those levels. And these kind of questions encourage the reader or listener to evaluate. So you assess the things, you interpret, you understand the things, and make judgments based on the information provided. So these kind of, when you're answering these kind of questions are called critical questions. So they are not ordinary questions; they are higher level questions. Now, let me ask you the critical question that requires your deeper understanding and see, okay, what can the city council do to make both sides happy? Given the options are start the plan and ignore the people who don't like it, B. Cancel the plan so taxes don't go up. C. Find other ways to pay or start the plan slowly to keep taxes low. Or D. Raise taxes a lot and then start the plan right away. So now if you look at the nature of the question, this is a critical question. And what is the reason this is a critical question? Because one thing that there is no explicit information about this question in the text. However, like what if you have to answer this question, you have to analyze the things. That means let's go get back to the text and try to answer this question using other techniques by giving some value judgment. All right, now if you see this text, the text does not explicitly tell what the city council needs to do. And this is the common thing that the council needs money and they have to apply the taxes also. But what's gonna be the effect of this? The effect will be some people are will be unhappy. However, it will make the government happy because they will be collecting taxes. But because people will have to pay the tax and it will be hard for them. So now what's needed here? We can reach a consensus, we can reach a conclusion that we need a way that both parties could be happy. Like the government impose taxes, but they are reasonable that people can pay. At the government, the city council doesn't lose anything, and people do not have to pay a lot. That's what we conclude with what with our common sense with after analyzing the situation, because some taxes the government will have something and people will not have to pay a lot. So now let's get back to the question options and see and answer the question. So now our critical analysis to answer this question could be the appropriate answer is C. To find other ways to pay or start the plan slowly, so that if they impose the taxes, suddenly the people will be unhappy. But if they start the plan slowly and keep the taxes low in the beginning, this will be acceptable for people. The text doesn't mention this thing, but through our analysis of the things, we were able to answer this. So these kind of questions are called critical questions. Thank you so much for attending this video pod. See you in another video pod, inshallah. Bye bye.